Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? So, I am curious how everyone's been doing throughout this pandemic, health wise as well as financially. Um, a lot of people were laid off and furloughed throughout this pandemic. A lot of people had to wait a long time for their unemployment. A lot of people are still waiting for their unemployment. I had to wait several months before I received my unemployment. And that's like the most crucial time when you are laid off or furloughed from a job, which I was. The first few months are the most crucial part. Like, being that it was so unexpected, people need money. People have bills. People have kids. I'm so fortunate enough that I do not have kids in my life right now, that I don't have other responsibilities besides myself. But there are a lot of people in our country that have kids and responsibilities and need to put food on the table and a roof over their head. And so I appreciated the enhanced unemployment, and I appreciated that they had a stimulus and helped out small businesses, large businesses, even, and the state and local governments. A lot of agencies, a lot of programs they assisted in, but there was a lot of negative involved. A lot. A lot of people don't realize how much negative was involved. Uh, a lot of people got money that they shouldn't have got. A lot of businesses got money they shouldn't have got. Large corporations that are wealthy, that have a lot of money in their bank accounts, their company bank accounts, their personal bank accounts, that still received a loan just because they weren't bringing in money currently and future wise. That didn't give them enough reason to take out a huge loan, $1 million loan. See, I feel most of that money should have went to small businesses, to mediocre sized businesses. If you're past a certain extent in total revenue, you should not need a loan. Especially especially a lot of people that are very secure, that are just completely established, so far off, or so far that they would never their in numerous lifetimes would ever need a loan. I mean, we have lots of big name role models that should have never taken loans. For example, football players, actors, musicians, Tom Brady. People, I have nothing against the overrated quarterback, but he he just off of his contracts for the NFL, just his football contracts, not his sponsorships, not his promotions, not his companies that he owns. He has like 3, 4 other streams of revenue coming in, and that's besides just his football contract. Just his football contract, he's made almost $200 million just from his football contracts. Yes, I cannot believe this. $200 million he's made just from them. And then he's made millions upon millions of dollars from sponsorships, from affiliate marketing, from his own businesses also. So altogether, he's probably worth $500 million. $500 million. And he took out $1 million loan. He took out $1 million loan. I think it was $1 million. Might have been more. I know it was at least $1 million. And there's other people that did it. That was just off. That was the last one I heard about. There's basketball players also. There's other football players. There's, like I said, musicians, actors, all sorts of people that are out there with their name and supposed to be role models because their name's out there, not to take loans when they have millions upon millions of dollars in the bank, while other small businesses and mediocre businesses filed bankruptcy because there was no money left. Big companies took money right away. Some of them gave it back. Some of them actually gave it back. They had the audacity to take it and then realize, wow, this is really hurting people. Businesses are going down, and here we got all this money in our banks. It's not our company's bank, but it's our own bank. We made lots of millions of dollars off the company, and here we're just gonna let it go under, or we're gonna take a loan out and take from other companies because we don't have money coming in. That's just so horrible. And then this next stimulus deal, they cannot come to an agreement because they are so greedy. They have so much money themselves. They do not realize how it really is to struggle. When someone has a job that has other people's lives in their hands, they don't realize how it is to struggle. The ironic situation is that they say that they want you to stay home. They do not want you to leave. Yes, majority of the states, they're saying they do not want you to leave home unless you have to. That's necessities. That's groceries. That's nothing else besides groceries, food, and household supplies, medicine. Nothing else. But yet, they can't continue unemployment. They can't come to an agreement on that. I guess they come to an agreement on it, but they can't come to an agreement on other parts to make the whole thing go through. And then they offer. I'm mad at both sides because Republicans just recently offered, they offered to put through bills right now that they agree on, the unemployment and the paycheck protection loan system. You know, they want to put in, they want to pass the unemployment and the paycheck protection program because they agree on them bills, so they want to put them through. But the Democrats don't want to. They said, we'll put them off to the side, the state and local agencies, and then the insurance benefits. I know for sure it's the state and local funding. They can't come to a complete agreement on, as well as I believe it's some sort of the insurance. I believe it's something with the insurance or the God, I can't think of what it exactly is. But they have a mutual agreement on a couple of major programs like enhanced unemployment extensions, because unemployment is about to run out, and probably close to 15 million people are about to lose money and have no other source of income. And then they're supposed to, not everyone can just go get a job. Not everyone has just regular jobs. They have careers that they're laid off in. You know, they have skills. They have lots of things that they have. They have lots of aspects involved in their career situation that they can't just go get a regular job that's offering out there $12 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever it is, because then it screws them on the unemployment if it goes through. But yet they're losing if they do take the 12-hour job. They just making way under what they would usually make. So there's lots of aspects. That's just a couple involved, but there's lots of reasons why people need unemployment. They want people to stay home, but yet they don't want to help people to get through the situation. And so then Democrats don't want to accept that and just put them bills through. They want to do everything at once. They feel like that's going to be taken away from their negotiations, because that's part of it being, they say, well, if we're going to if you agree on this, then, you know, we're not going to let you guys get away with undermining us on this or going lower on these programs when we put these through. So when it's all worked on at once, no one can out leverage anyone because this already gone through. They're all still on the table. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. Just to make it clear, for unemployment and the paycheck protection program, uh, they have them two programs that they're agreeing on, and then the state and local funding and some sort of insurance uh, benefits program. So them two, they're not. So if they agree on these two and these two, and they're both, or not these two, and they're both on the table right now, then they can still work it out and not have nothing to be leveraged off of. To where if they pass these two, unemployment and the unemployment and the PPE programs, and they have these two left, then they're at a disagreement, and they can't say, well, if we're making them lower, then the Democrats can't use these two, well, if they were still there, and say, well, then we want these more. We want more in this. We don't want 300. We want 600 for unemployment then enhanced, not the 300. And we want, this amount of money for, for businesses and paycheck protections. And if you are lowering these, then we want more here. They won't be able to do that because them will already be passed through. Now, in hindsight, I believe it would be hindsight, when Biden gets inaugurated on the 20th and becomes president, he most likely is going to be putting in another executive order, or passing along other bills, or so this is actually why Dems are even coming to a bipartisan agreement somewhat already, more than what they have, because they know this is just a step towards what we really need. When you're minded, when you have a mind that thinks a certain type of way financially, and you've never struggled, you've never been through a struggle, you've never even been around a struggle, you don't know what it's like, you don't know how hard it is to get through it, how hard it is to maintain even, let alone to get up and get further ahead. And so a lot of Republicans, they come from that. They come from not having to ever struggle or ever have anything not given to them, And for instance, Donald Trump, he was given opportunities to work for his father that his grandfather built, the business his grandfather built. Then his dad took over, and his dad helped his grandfather, and then Trump came along and and then got out of the Vietnam War because he all of a sudden had bone spurs, which he was already cleared to go for. If he was already cleared if there was a draft, and then there was a draft, and then all of a sudden he had bone spurs, so he got out of that to work for his grandpa's business, which then he failed multiple times, failed multiple real estate deals, and his dad got pissed off after so many times of failing deals that he said, "You're done. You're going on your own. Figure it out." He couldn't figure it out. He tried to go in Manhattan, he failed, so he needed a loan. So he got to talk to his dad into giving him a loan, $1 million loan at that. It might have not been a whole lot to them, but $1 million is pretty big, even back in probably the 80s, 90s it was. And so then he took that, grew his businesses, or started in Manhattan, he wasn't doing bad. He didn't fail businesses. He had some that he was growing his business, but then it wasn't real big. It wasn't real great. He wasn't doing anything really successful. His dad then passed away, and that's when he inherited his dad's business and a bunch of money, and that's how he had a successful company. And then even after that, he took that money that he inherited from his dad, and the business that he had was going downhill then. For his dad's business that he inherited, it was going bankrupt, and he decided to sell it and license the name. Then other hotel owners would come in, buy the building, buy whatever real estate, and then Trump would license the name to it. Seems how it was already a big name. And then he would buy other successful hotels and resorts and casinos in other areas of the country that were already successful, but they were outdated. They were making money, so he would buy them, he would fix them up, re-renovate them, make them all fancy, and then they would go bankrupt. he bankrupted multiple businesses because he wanted a fancy look and he overdid it. And so yeah, that's a prime example of what we're dealing with. Trump and his crew that he's got in there, um, his like-minded crew that's never really experienced any type of struggle or middle class situations or lifestyles or trials and tribulations, and so then therefore you have disagreements. And Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, they weren't even willing to go back low before, previous to these talks, down lower than 1.7, I believe it was 1.8. They were at, or no, maybe the Dems came up to one, or no, the Republicans came up to 1.7. The Dems were down to 2.2 at the lowest or something like this. And so if the Dems won't move lower than 2.2 and the Republicans were at 1.7, that was pre-Thanksgiving. Now after Thanksgiving, now during the talks, now they introduce a $908 billion stimulus, which is over $1 billion, or no, over $1 trillion less than what they were at. Or no, well, it was less than $1 trillion. So they were at 1.7, the Republicans, 1.7 trillion they were willing to come up to. Now they come back and the country's even worse, and now they're only going up to 908. Well, yesterday, this is what's crazy. So they come up to 908. Biden wins, though. This is why it's like this. Biden wins. He's the president-elect. So now they know another stimulus is going to come anyway. So they know that, okay, well, we'll just agree. We'll come down. We'll settle with them. If they were only willing to come down to 2.2 before, and now they're coming down all the way to 908 billion from 2.2 trillion. That means, yeah, they know that something way better is going to come in the future. So that's why they're willing to work with 908 billion. Then Steve Mnuchin, he goes and introduces a new stimulus deal for 916 billion. 8 billion more, just a little bit more, I guess. When you're talking about billions, it's 8 billion more. But this is what this one is. This one includes stimulus checks, but only $600 direct stimulus checks to people. And then he wants to cut out enhanced unemployment. So this guy thinks he's got a brilliant new plan, adding $8 billion to the thing and giving people stimulus checks of only one $600 check and $300 for kids, but then cutting out a weekly amount of $300. Where does he get the audacity and the brain cells to even think that the Dems would even entertain this? They laughed it off the table. They said it was dead before arrival. Nancy was like, I can't even believe this guy that he's doing this now. He thinks that we're going to come that low? Shit. But yeah, anyway, so that's off the table. So and then even McConnell and other Repubs and other Dems said we just need to stick with the one we had, the 908. We had a real good, solid bipartisan agreement on it. It comes with $300 extension enhanced unemployment. It comes with local and state aid. It comes with PPE. It comes with the insurance protections. It comes with everything, but just minor, just less, and because there's going to be more in the future. So I hope everyone knows assistance is coming through. We just have some very greedy, unthoughtful politicians in there. They just are very selfish, and I lost a lot of respect for them politicians, them politicians. I didn't lose respect for our complete government. I didn't lose respect for all politicians, just them certain politicians, them politicians, a few of them. I've mentioned some names already, and it goes both ways. And they need to really step it up for them to get that respect back. And I believe that you guys should all lost respect for them too, if you really have been following along and realize how long this has been taking them to help our country. Meanwhile, they just passed a $700 billion deal for our military. Our military is very important, yes. But so is the military more important than the people that they're protecting? That's why they're protecting us, so we can live and prosper. So now you're gonna give them 700 billion, but you can't even pass a 900 billion, a couple hundred more, when there's already 400 billion sitting, waiting to get redistributed already. So really, it's 5 less. So what is going on with these people, for real? I don't get it. We have all sorts of Republicans even and Democrats hassling them, wondering what is going on with you guys. They take these these long breaks, and now they got another break coming up soon. People are just hoping that they get it done before this next break, and they say they're gonna get something out now before this next break, and yeah, it's just really, really ridiculous, and I just do not understand how multiple people in such important roles can become so selfish and not have a clear perspective on how many and how much people are really struggling right now. And this should have been done before Thanksgiving. Now we're going on Christmas, and we won't even probably see any financial support till after Christmas. Something might get passed, but I doubt we'll receive it before. I mean, we're looking at only 15 days, 2 weeks before Christmas, so it's probably going to be another week before it even gets anything done with talking. They probably won't get finished talking about it for another week, and then it probably take another week to write it. And so yeah, we're looking at probably right before Christmas they'll vote on it. Hopefully, probably won't vote on it till after. Who knows? Either way, we probably ain't seen anything till end of January. So I hope everyone hangs in there though. Remember, stay positive, because being negative never helps any situation. It just makes it worse. So remember, every single time you're down, you're sad, you're depressed, you're getting antsy, anything, down, negative, just remind yourself that's part of life. You're going to be happy just in a moment. It's right. Your happiness is right around the corners. In a minute from now, you're going to be smiling. You're going to hear something. You're going to see something that's funny. You're going to be back up. That's just part of life. Remind yourself every time you're down. Remember, that's just part of life. I'm going to be happy in a minute. So I hope everyone's staying clean and consistently clean. Remember to sanitize your hands every single time before you get back into your car, and most definitely every single time before you come back into your house. And do not forget to sanitize your touch things and touch spots, your wallets, your purses, your cards that are in your purses and your wallets, your makeup, your pocket knives, your cell phone, and your touch spots, your door handles, your cabinet doors, your cabinet handles and knobs, your refrigerator and freezer door, your light switches. Please sanitize your important touch things and touch spots, and just be positive, be thoughtful. Think about what you're going to say before you say it. Think about if they said that to you, how would you feel? Think about if they did that to you, how would you feel? Think about if you did something around other people, how would you feel if they did something around you? So if it's not direct, even think about it. So be thoughtful and be kind. I'm telling you, everyone, it's cool to be kind. It is very cool to be kind. And be practical. Be real. Be genuine. Be down to earth. Be sensitive. And be patient. Be patient. Nothing, absolutely nothing great comes overnight. And chase your dreams. Chase your passions. Get unstuck. Figure out what you love. What you would love to do as much as possible every single day. Figure that out and do it. Work on it at least 1 to 2 hours a night, 2 to 3 nights a week. Yes. Figure out what you love to do as much as possible and just do it. Just start. No matter what it takes, no matter what it is, and just start. And do it at least an hour or two a night, 3 nights a week. Work on it. If it's making something, whatever you do, record yourself or write about it and post it online. Also, at least 2 to 3 times a day, 2 to 3 times a week. Record yourself, write it. Don't give a shit what anyone thinks about you because they ain't paying your bills, and after they see it, 10 seconds later, they forgot about it. They don't care what you look like, what you're wearing, what you say. It's content. Bring value to people. Do what you love and record it and post it. Write it. Record yourself saying it. Write it. Record yourself making it, doing it, whatever it is. Any single passion can be possible nowadays into your own business because there are so many people in our country and so many people in our world, and we have the internet and social media sites and YouTube as our platform for our consumer base. So that means you have billions with a B for the amount of consumers, the amount of possible consumers. People have dirt, talking about dirt, how you water, how you feed it, as a passion. They love dirt. That's their passion. And they turn it into a business. I'm telling you, anything can be turned into a business. Do it, record it, whatever way, 1 or 2 nights a week for 1 or 2 hours a night at least, and post it on at least 2 to 3 my bad. Work on it at least 2. Why am I getting confused here? Or why am I free? Okay, work on your passion at least an hour to 2 hours a night. 1 to 2 hours, that's all it is. It's not more work. You don't have to come home and work again. No, you're doing what you love. You're doing something you love. So come home and do what you love whenever. You don't have to do it right away when you get home. Come home, relax, whatever. Just at least work on it for an hour or 2 a night, 2 or 3 nights a week, and you will build. It don't matter if it takes you 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years even. But guess what? That 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, doing something you love to build your own business, to do what you love for the rest of your life, don't even compare to doing something you hate or don't mind for the rest of your life. Even if it's something you just don't mind. You don't hate it, but you don't like it. Doing that for the rest of your life, 20, 30, 40 more years, compared to doing something you love for another 6 months to 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to build it into a business, to do that for the rest of your life completely, whenever you want, wherever you want, how you want. It is so worth it. Get unstuck from your daily life, your daily routine. Get unstuck and just take that action. Don't even plan it if you have to. Just do it. All right, guys, I love you guys. God bless you. I'm out.